He's back!
Yo guys, it's Mez and welcome to another video. Today we'll be talking about my top moments of Daredevil Born Again episodes 5 and 6. If you've not seen these episodes, please be aware I'm going to be going into spoilers. So make sure you watch the episodes before watching this video. I also made another video about my thoughts and predictions based on episodes 1 and 2. If you've not watched that video, please check this out as well. It would be much appreciated. Episode 5 takes place in a bank, and this bringing me on to my first top moment. Daredevil Born Again is confirmed to be in the MCU. We meet Yusuf Khan, who is actually Kamala Khan's dad, and this is directly referenced to the show of Miss Marvel. There were also some references of Kamala in the show as well. They're placed in a hostage situation by the Irish, and the Irish is the same gang that we meet in episode 1. And it's quite a funny note that this is done during St. Patrick's Day. My next best moment is Matt doing his Irish accent, just so he can fool the Irish gang members when he had those bit of a hostage crisis. That was quite funny as well.
Wait. I needed the bank manager to be sufficiently motivated to open the vault. He is now. We're almost in.
I think my favorite moment in the entire episode was when Matt put on the red mask and fought the leader of the Irish. It was pretty good, and we get to see that bone-crunching action that we saw in the trailer. Top-notch action. Overall, a very short episode. Most of it took place in the bank, like I said. We're not really much going on, but that sort of leads into the next episode. Episode 6 is the massive Reborn episode. One way for me to summarize this episode is themes and symbolism. We focus more on Matt's and Wilson's stories. I really enjoyed how the writers showed both their stories simultaneously. It's like both the stories are connected, but yet they're still different. I believe this episode is the most important out of the one we've seen, as this shows the characters' true natures and what their actual ideologies are. So let's start with Wilson. Wilson is also having his struggles right now as mayor. He doesn't really know how to deal with these situations. He feels like he knows how more to do with Kingpin than as Wilson. He decides to, as he quotes, change the protocols, so he forms the Anti-Vigilante Task Force. Basically, they're a bunch of dirty cops who will get stuff done and stuff that the police won't really do. We also see the return of Muse. We get to see what he's been doing in these past few episodes, and we also really get to explore his character, his violent nature. He's essentially a twisted and sick individual who just wants to murder victims and paint their bloods across the city. We also get to see more of Angela, that's Hector Ayala's niece. She was also a very integral part to Matt's storyline this episode. She knew that Hector was wrongfully killed and wanted Matt to do something about it. Matt is also having the struggles of his own. He doesn't really know how to help her as without the persona of Daredevil. Her character is a very integral point of him eventually returning. Just going back to the idea I mentioned earlier about symbolism and themes, there are a lot of different symbolisms that I picked up in this episode. The first one was when Wilson was putting his suit on and the suit tore. Now, we knew he slimmed down from the previous seasons of the Daredevil Netflix show. This is explained in episode 4 as we see him do his eating habits yet again. Another symbolism that I noticed in this episode was when Cherry informed Matt about Muse and the number of victims and the fact that he paints his victim with blood. When Cherry mentions that let the police handle it, we all know he's not going to just sit around and do nothing. Another thing I caught on this episode is that there's a little ticking sound throughout the episode, like the time is running out, like a stopwatch, like a timer. It means their fake personas or their fake personalities are coming to an end, and we're going to see the real them. Before we continue onwards, it's really nice that we had a nice cameo from the guy from Hawkeye, the swordsman. It was pretty cool to see him there. Nice little cameo. Since Kingpin was also in Hawkeye, it sort of makes sense for them to have a character interaction. Now, Angela decides to do something about this news, and she goes and confronts Muse in his underground lair and got captured. Matt hears this news, decides to call 911.
What's your emergency?
That split second, he decides if the police are actually going to do something about this, or will I have to step in? Fuck it, I'll do it myself.
I'll do it myself.
Another symbolism moment that happened is that we see the horn that was episode 1. He placed it on Foggy's picture. One thing I also really liked is how they showed Muse's lair. It was almost sort of Punishery in a way, as we see he left his victims on hook. Remember when I mentioned when the writers showed both perspectives of Matt and Wilson Fisk? Well, they did it again. It's again showing that their stories are connecting, but they're just on the opposite sides of the spectrum. We see a really nice moment where we see a red light on the train train, and slowly as the train goes away, we see a figure running towards Muse. And ladies and gentlemen, it's none other than Daredevil himself. Sweet action is back. Again, the perspective shown by the writers and the transition of the fights between the two was just perfect. Fisk let Adam out of his cage and basically gave him an axe. This axe is important as when they showed Wilson's past in season 3 of the original show, Wilson killed his father with a hammer. So he's giving Adam a little bit of something to even the playing field. And guys, the transitioning of both these fights was just really well done. Like, one time we see Daredevil slamming Muse into the table, and then we just get Kingpin slamming Adam into the... It was just done so well. I also really like that one shot where Muse is just like horror filming, just burning his body on the floor, just really weird, just like his character. I'm also really glad that the writers brought back the theme of Matt's faith and his religion, because we start off the episode where he had that monologue and he sort of reminisced the events that happened in his life. The same quote was repeated during the fight as well, which again has so much meaning. So the ideology of faith was so integral to season 3 of the original show that I'm glad that the themes are coming back again. There was a moment where Daredevil almost killed Muse, but during the fight he was listening to Angela's heartbeat. He didn't want to repeat the same mistake that he did Boggy, so he decides to stop and save Angela. As a result of Daredevil saving Angela, Muse escapes, and then we get that very important line, "It's okay, I am here." This was very powerful. It's almost like he broke the fourth wall and he was telling the viewers that, don't worry guys, I'm here now. Beautiful writing, and I'm so glad Daredevil is back. Now let's talk about my thoughts and predictions for the rest of the season. We're definitely going to get a Daredevil and Muse rematch, and I'm pretty sure that Kingpin's going to find out about Daredevil coming back. But the question is, how will he handle that news? Will he get his new anti-vigilante task force to handle him, or will he take matters into his own hand? We know that Vanessa will find out about what Fisk did to Adam. Will this cause friction in their relationship and creating a more power struggle? We know that Punisher's just coming back from the mid-season trailer that we saw. How will he help Daredevil? Pretty sure he might come back in the last episode. Maybe we get to see Karen coming back. Maybe we see a little snippet of her seeing Daredevil coming back. Will Angela inform everyone Daredevil's return, or will it just be broadcasted live on news of his spotting that he's back? I definitely think we're going to see another confrontation between Daredevil and Kingpin before the season ends. It's quite poetic because they had the talking scene in episode 1, and now they're going to have another scene where they're completely on different sides. I'm pretty sure we're also going to be getting a Muse reveal. I predicted in my previous video that he's the guy in the book signing that we saw. How will Matt and Heather's relationship be affected now that he's back? That Heather was quite against people with masks. How will this be impacted? Will she be put in the firing line? Back to the point in my previous video, will Muse be involved in killing Vanessa or even Heather? That's it guys for this video. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments down below. Really interested to see what you guys are saying. If you guys liked this video, please drop a like, subscribe if you guys are new, make sure you hit the bell icon for more Daredevil videos coming out, and I'll see you guys in the next one.